Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you all so much for being with me here today. I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. Today, super excited to share with you my thoughts. Finally got around to listening to it. My thoughts on The Doors live at the Aquarius Theater in Hollywood, California, which was recorded in 1969. This is the Analog Productions 3-album version of the album. Uh, Excited to share with you on this. And I got to be honest with you, uh, I didn't get a chance to listen to this album until just this past week. I got it just when I was getting new equipment in my room behind me. And I didn't get a chance until this last week to listen to it. And boy, I tell you what, I guess shocked is probably the best word to use because I couldn't believe how good this album sounded. Boy, I tell you what, back in 1969, they did a phenomenal job of recording and mixing this album. Those analog master tapes sound absolutely fantastic. So anyway, super excited to share that with you. Before we get started, as always, if you like what you see, please go ahead and subscribe. That's great. Love it if you can do that. But as always, please leave comments in the comment section below. Appreciate that very, very much. Thank you all so much for leaving comments on my latest video that I did about getting close to a week ago when I got a new preamp, power amp, some cabling, and some room acoustics in my room. Thank you all so much for leaving comments on that, suggestions and ideas. I appreciate that so very, very much. Today, like I say, super excited to share this with you. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, as we get started on this, the album was recorded once again in 1969 at the Aquarius Theater in Hollywood, California, a very small, intimate type of venue. So that might make a lot of sense for how good this recording really does sound. Band members at the time, of course, Jim Morrison, lead vocalist. And then I tell you what, this album really gives you a pretty good glimpse, at least I think it does in particular on one song, of the the mindset and the frame of mind that Jim Morrison was in at this time. You know, some really dark poetry, if you will. Uh, just a glimpse really into Jim Morrison's mind at the time is really cool. Celebrating the Lizard is a cut on the album that we'll talk briefly about as we get to the sound, but it's just you got to hear it. It's pretty crazy in its nature all by itself, but it's really really cool. Band members at the time, of course, Jim Morrison lead vocals, Ray Manzarek organ, keyboards, and bass. Robbie Krieger, electric guitar, John Densmore on the drums, and of course, Bruce Botnick was the one that produced it and did the mastering back in 1969. And boy, what a masterful job Bruce did. This album, along with the 2016 Record Store Day version of this album, was cut to lacquers by Chris Bellman at Bernie Grundman Mastering. And I wish I would have picked up that 2016 Record Store Day exclusive, but I tried and I couldn't find it. And by the time I was able to find one, they were crazy expensive. It was first released on CD, I believe, back in 2001, and then a couple, three other times after that. I think 2008 was the first time that it was released on vinyl. And I don't know how widespread that release was, but really the first time that I became aware of it was in 2016 on that Record Store Day that I wasn't able to acquire. But I tell you what, I'm sure glad that I was able to acquire this one as it came out. I believe this album by Analog Productions is limited to 2,000 or 3,000. I can't remember for sure, but as of doing this video today, they're still available. So I don't know for sure how many they're limited to, but it seems like it was 2,000 or 3,000. But boy, I tell you what, this is a really great sounding album. Okay, let's quickly jump in and just take a quick look and see what you get. I think they really do a nice job with the Stoughton tip-on type Dracus. This is a 3-album, 33 RPM, thank heaven, version of the vinyl. Here, let's take a quick peek at it. Here is the first part of the album. As you can see, it's got really nice colors to it, some really good information. Backside of the album is really cool. I can't see that it's numbered. Oh gosh, they are numbered. Mine is 00043. And so they are numbered. Let's quickly just take a look at the vinyl. One of the records inside the album. Of course, you get, when you buy things from Acoustic Sounds, you get a little advertisement about the stuff that they are pressing, which is fine. The vinyl is 180 gram. It is pressed at QRP, and as we indicated, Chris Bellman was the one that did the that cut the lacquers on this, and I'm sure it was pretty much what he did when he did the 2016 Record Store Day version. I'm assuming, don't know that. So really, this was my first real first time listening to this album because I never had it on any other format. And so I was really excited to listen to this. And like I say, I just wasn't expecting the quality of the sound to be as good as it is, given the fact that it was a live recording done back in 1969. And so really quite shocked at that. So I'm not going to be comparing this album to anything. I don't really have anything. I did find it on Spotify. I think they say with their higher resolution, it's CD quality on Spotify. So I did hear that. It sounds pretty good. It's a great place to vet it out. And there's probably others. I couldn't find it on Qobuz, but it is on Spotify. So if you wanted to vet it out, it's nowhere near the quality of the vinyl. Just, anyway. But it's a 3-album set. We'll start with side 1 and take a look and talk about the sound quality on the album. Side 1 starts out with the band tuning their instruments and so forth, and Jim Morrison's introduction. The first track is Backdoor Man, and this is really where I was so just absolutely shocked at how good this album sounded when this track started. Drums were just spectacularly well recorded with good weight. Keyboards are just absolutely awesome. Extended on the upper end, but not edgy or over edgy or over bright, I should say. Very clear, very clean. I was just shocked. Of course, Jim's voice is excellent. It just sounds absolutely wonderful. Bass, drums, keyboards, guitar, lead guitars, they all sound very, very upfront and very, very well recorded. Lots of air around the instruments, and seriously well detailed, which I was shocked at. Second track in is Break On Through. Bass is absolutely excellent. Guitars, keyboards, drums are wonderful. Just surprising weight on the bass and the drums. Really surprised at how well that's balanced, but yet the weight is really quite impressive. I just wasn't expecting that. Of course, Jim's vocals, once again, are absolutely wonderful, very vivid with excellent detail. Rolling on over to side 2, I Will Never Be Untrue. Now, this is just a great track on the album, or at least it is in my opinion. You really need to vet this out, listen to it. Guitar intro is absolutely great. It sounds awesome. Drums, when they come in, are excellent, well-defined keyboards. And of course, Jim's vocals are just really, really, really awesome. It's a great track. Okay, going to the next album, record 2, side 1. We'll call it side 3 just for kicks and giggles. Universal Mind. Great, great track. This sounds really, really good. Love this track, and Jim's opening vocals sound incredibly awesome. All other instruments, including guitars and drums, are rendered very, very well with excellent detail, very vivid in his presentation. Shocker for 1969. Just wasn't expecting this level of resolution and just clarity in particular, not on all instruments, but in particular on Jim's voice. Really, really, really awesome. Just cool. Third track on side 3, we're calling it Mystery Train, Crossroads. Fun opening to this track. Once again, great sonics, vocals along, keyboards, guitars, bass, and drums sound absolutely wonderful. Just an incredibly awesome, awesome sounding track on the album. The entire album is very consistent with its sonics. It sounds really, really good. Let's roll over to side 4. We're on record 2, side 2. Who Do You Love? This is where I think it gets really, really fun on this track. There's a false start. The drums on this track, even the false start, are simply stunning in weight, in detail, and clarity. It just is crazy. Vet it out, listen to it, Spotify, Apple. I don't even know who else has this, but if you can, vet it out. It really does sound incredibly, really good. Okay, when we get to the actual track, Who Do We Love? Drums at the entrance, once again, are just simply stunning. Excellent weight with detail. Keyboards are excellent, fully extended but not over the top bright, because he really does hit some pretty high notes with the keyboard, and they're up there high, but it's not too bright. It's not overdone, so it sizzles. It sounds absolutely wonderful. Now, this track, Who Do You Love, goes right into Light My Fire. And when it gets right to the very end of Who Do You Love and goes right into Light My Fire, there's a drum whack. And I'm not kidding you, if you're not careful with the volume control, and you got to turn the volume up and listen to it. That's how it's meant to be. You got to turn that volume up. But when you get to that point where it goes from Who Do You Love into Light My Fire, there's a drum whack, and I'm not kidding you, it thumped me right in the chest, because I had it up pretty loud. I was really listening to it because it's just a great album that you just want to have up there, listening to it at a good volume. And I tell you what, it sounds awesome. It's cool. Light My Fire, one of their greatest songs that they ever did. Fantastic rendering of that incredible track. Jim Morrison's vocals are absolutely stunning. Once again, drums, keyboards, guitar, bass guitar. Everything sounds absolutely wonderful. What a great job of recording this album, once again, back in 1969. Wow, those master tapes are simply stunning. Crazy, crazy. On the third LP, it's the first side of the third LP. This is where it gets, I think, kind of entertaining. At very first, it's kind of more of what they call crowd requests, a couple, maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes. But then the second track on the album, it's about a 15-minute long track, and it's called Celebrating the Lizard. And this is really where Jim Morrison gets, I think, pretty crazy, dark. He's a poet. I mean, he's a total poet. I mean, he's just telling his story through this song, what's in his mind at that time. And it's a little out there. It's a little crazy. It's dark, but it's really something you should listen to. And the sound quality is good. It just sounds really, really good. Side 2 of the third album is basically just more sound check stuff. Anyway, quickly to wrap it up, it sounds fantastic. However they did that recording back in 1969, they did it well. They did it to perfection, and it just sounds absolutely wonderful on vinyl. You cannot go wrong. I'm sure, like I say, this is the only copy I got. This is the Analog Productions versions. I'm sure the record store version, since they were all cut, I don't know where it was pressed at, but as they were cut by Chris Bellman as well, the lacquers, I'm sure it sounds wonderful as well. And the CDs probably do too. And I'm saying that not knowing, but just because the master tapes had to have been wonderful. This album is simply stunning in its presentation. It sounds incredibly well. Grateful to have it. Live recording wise, and I've been meaning to do a video on my favorite live recordings and ones that sound really good. This one would be really near the top of the list. I am not kidding you. It's that good. It sounds really, really Good. Now, the only comparison, like I say, that I did do, and it's not a comparison, it's not fair, it's not right. I did listen to the album on Spotify, and it's supposedly, CD quality. Uh, I would rather have listened to it on Qobuz, but that's just me. But I couldn't find it on Qobuz. Not saying it's not there, I just couldn't find it. But on Spotify, the difference is night and day. It's not even close. The vinyl is far and away uh, way more dynamic, way more clean, way more beautiful in its presentation overall. Anyway, The Doors, live at the Aquarius Theater in Hollywood, California. Boy, if you're a Doors fan, this is a must-have in my opinion. What an incredibly awesome sounding album. Thank you so much for being with me here today. I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. Please leave comments in the comment section below. Until next time, and we got some great videos coming up, by the way, in the next time. We're going to be talking about John Coltrane, the Rhino High Fidelity release, 1960 to 1964 albums. We'll be talking about that. It is getting towards the end of the year. I got my favorite jazz albums that have been released in 2025, my favorite rock and roll albums that have been released in 2025. Well, I think we'll even do a CD/SACD version of that as well. Thank you so much for being with me here today. Have a great day.